Good morning, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We've got people still kind of filtering in from the waiting room here, but I just wanted to do a quick introduction. For those of you who have not met me before, my name is Savannah. I am the program director for Strong Mamas Thriving Babies here with Yana. That's your postpartum program that you got after delivering baby. And then we're joined here by Shari Barta. She's the owner of Posture Power Wellness and all things core. She is brilliant and she leads this. If this is your first time on this call, she leads this postpartum movement series with us once a month on what are we on the second Wednesday? The month.
Yep.
Yeah, so we are here every single month on Zoom. She also has a brick and mortar that you can go visit her at. So, Shari, I'll let you take it away and tell us a little bit more about yourself and what we're doing today.
All right. Thank you so much for the intro. Hi, everybody. I'm Sherry. I come with lots of different paths. Savannah mentioned, I own Posture Power Wellness. I am a pelvic floor occupational therapist and I am certified in Pilates. So my mission is to make pelvic floor therapy fun and accessible. And so we do that through offering
Oh my
Pilates
God, no,
classes
you're not.
that are very pelvic forward. Um, then we will, uh, you can do privates, you can do duets, everything. I also have an online program called CoreRehab that is on demand because I know that being a mom is hard and you have crazy schedules and getting in is hard. But again, mission is to make rehab fun and accessible because we all need it. So how we're going to work today is we're going to do some movement together. You get to get down on the floor and just move and connect into your body. If you have some questions, feel free to throw them in the chat so you don't forget them. I'm not going to be seeing them because I'm moving. Savannah is going to be in charge of making sure we do those questions. And I always make sure I leave some time at the end of the session to do some Q&A because ladies, you have a pelvic floor therapist at your fingertips. I'm also an OT, I'm not also, I am an occupational therapist. So I really can assess a lot of things from a global place. And I want to be able to leave some time for some of those questions. So we will do that at the end. So we'll get there. But right now, let's just move and let's just feel. Okay. I'm going to have everybody just sit down and I want you to sit cross legged. So just sit up tall, cross legged, and I want you to take a deep breath for me. You're going to inhale, feel everything expand, and exhale. You take another breath, and I want you to notice a little bit of the breath. We're going to talk a lot about breath today, and I'll explain why. Breath really is one of the first ways for us to connect into our deeper core. It hooks together, ideally, when you're breathing correctly, your diaphragm, your deep core, which is your transverse abdominis, and your pelvic floor. These are all the things we need to get going after having babies. So it's really important for this stuff to start working. This is my favorite place to start with all of my postpartum mamas. Okay. So all you're doing here is checking into where you're at. Now let's lay down and we're going to do it again. So you are going to just lay on your back. Just bend your knees. The feet are flat on the mat. I like to take a minute, kind of get myself situated. Sorry, I have extra layers. It's cold today here. I want you to take your hands and just kind of stick them onto your pelvis. So my fingers are resting on my pubic bone and my thumbs are kind of near my navel. Take a moment and really focus into those fingers and take another deep breath. Feel it expand and exhale or lack thereof. So what happened? Ideally, I want you to feel an expansion out, an expansion on your ribs, an expansion of your pelvic floor down as you inhale. As you exhale, I want you to feel it slowly crisscross up and pull up and in. So just check in, see where we're at. What can you get? It's not uncommon for that breath to kind of get stuck somewhere around the belly button, just below the belly button, and you have to really concentrate on getting it down. That is waking up those muscles. Okay. All right. Let's loosen a couple things up and see if we can get a little deeper. Can you just tilt that pelvis forward and back? So you're going to curl towards your head. You're going to take it down to the floor. You're going to do that again. Amazing. Give me two more. One more. Nice. All right, find center. And I'm going to have you just kind of go side to side. You can let those knees go over with you. We're just trying to open that low back up. See if we can get a slightly different postural position so that you can get deeper in there breath-wise. Beautiful. Okay, find center. Now, take another deep breath. Inhale and exhale. My question is did that go a little deeper? Now that you're moving a little. If you're still getting stuck, I want you to take a notice to what's happening with your butt and your low back. It's very common. Let me pull my shirt up tighter for you so you can see this. It's very common for people to kind of chill with their back flattened down on the mat. If you notice, I have a curl here and here. This is how we are told to exercise a lot, except it cuts off all of these muscles, all those lower core muscles. So basically, tipping and flattening your back shuts off your lower deep core, your hip flexors. It tightens your pelvic floor, it tightens your butt, and you're loading your back. You're not going to get down there in this position. I want you to stick your tailbone down in that mat. I want you to have a little bit of space in that low back. I want you to be able to take those hands and kind of keep them on that, like your thumbs by your belly button, your fingers down by your pubic bones, in that, and have those fingers in the same alignment. So I don't want your thumbs higher than your fingers or your fingers higher than your thumb. Can you put them in the same plane? Okay. So now adjust to that and take a deep breath. Ideally, you should be feeling that breath go down a little bit lower with that inhale and that natural pull up with the exhale. Why this is so important for the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor, when it goes down with that inhale, it is relaxing. When it comes back up and pulls up with your exhale, it's contracting. Every muscle needs to have a relaxation and a contraction. It is a sign of health, of muscle health. It is a great way to get that pelvic floor starting to find some flow and coordination with the rest of our body. It gets stunned. Whether you've had a C-section or vaginal delivery, it gets stunned. Okay. So now keep your hands there, keep them in that neutral plane. So I really do not want this pelvis moving at all. I want it to stay nice and still. And you're going to float a leg up into what we call tabletop. So you're going to make 90-90. So you're 90 degrees at your hips and then 90 at your knees. So it makes a table out of your shin. Bring it back down and switch to the other side. We're going to just go back and forth. We're going to alternate. And the goal is that you keep your pelvis nice and still. It doesn't rock all over the place to find this. Some people have a tendency to start to feel that pelvis tip side to side. So we are going to add a factor to try to help prevent that tipping. On your left side, I want you to put a little more pressure into your left foot. You should feel that kind of come up the left leg and drive over to the right and bring your right leg up into tabletop. Flex that foot. Go ahead, extend it out and bring it back in. Do that again. So keep that pressure into the left foot to give stabilization. You feel a stronger pelvis while you're driving that right foot in and out. One more. Good. Go ahead and bring it on down. Awesome. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So put pressure into the right foot, float the left leg up, flex that foot, drive it out, and bring it back in. Do that again. 2. We're going to 5 again. 3, 4, and 5. Good. Go ahead, bring that one on down. We're going to make it a little harder. Go ahead and push into that left leg again. Get that connection. Float the right leg up. Before we move, take a breath. How low can you get in that breath? Good. Exhale. Push it out. Tap that leg up and down. Up and down. 1. Again, I have a straight leg. I'm moving it up and down. I'm only moving as high as my other leg. And I'm really focusing on that pelvis staying really still. 1 more. Good. Bring it on down. Let's do the other side. Go ahead, put that pressure into the right leg. That's really going to help keep that nice stable pelvis. Float that left leg up. Take another deep breath. Feel everything expand. Exhale. Feel it all connect in. Push that leg out long. Now tap that leg up and down, focusing on the pelvis not moving. 2, 3, 2 more. Awesome. Go ahead and bring it on down. We're going to keep our feet down here. Our hands are going to come down by our sides. We're going to start some just gentle bridging. So I want you to tilt that pelvis and peel it up 1 vertebrae at a time to pull yourself up into a shoulder bridge. Now slowly lower yourself back down. I like to imagine that my spine is like a pearl necklace. I'm tilting the pelvis and I'm peeling up 1 pearl or vertebrae at a time, and I'm stretching it. I'm thinking about sending energy out over my knees to stretch. Now keep that stretch and start to come back down 1 vertebrae at a time. Good. Do that again. 2 more. Last one. Nice. Keep your tailbone down. Bring your feet together and bring your legs together. Zip them up nice and tight. Okay. We're going to try to get those inner thighs firing a little bit. So right here, keeping that butt heavy, keep that tailbone engaged. I want you to just squeeze those legs together and release. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. 2 more. Just waking those inner thighs up a little bit, a little isometric work. Good. Now, keep them squeezing, but not killing anything. You're just gently keeping everything connected. And you're going to rotate to the side, letting those feet stack on top of each other. Try not to push through your big toe while you do this. Keeping the legs squeezed, rotate them back up and around to the other side. This is starting to wake up those inner thighs. It's reminding that deep core and those obliques how to control that pelvis. Our bodies like to cheat and push through our toes. So really resist that urge, because if you do that, you take it out of your core. I want the work coming from the center. Nice. Come back to center. Nice. Open those feet up a little bit. Widen those knees up. So about hip width apart. So about 2 fists are going to be between your knees if you hold your hands up. Awesome. Hands are down by your sides again. We're going to go make that tailbone heavy so that you're in nice neutral position. And you're going to bring that right leg back up. Hold it up. Flex that foot. And I want you to drive that heel back out and back in. Good. Do that again. 2, 3. So we do the same exercises we did earlier, but this time we're going to add them on to each other. So we're going to challenge that hip a little bit more. One more. Stay out, tap it up and down for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bring it on down. Let's do the other side. Keep that tailbone down, bring that leg up. Really focus on a nice neutral pelvis. Flex your foot, push it out, and bring it back. Do that again. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hold it out, tap it up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Amazing. Go ahead, bring it on down. All right. We are going to work on some ribs and arms. Okay. I'm trying to flatten everything down so you can see this. Okay. All right. Ribs. A lot of times, especially postpartum, mine never fully went back in. My kids are 17 and turning 15. My ribs really need to get the message, but my ribs still like to stick up a little bit. We want to get those ribs connecting back down. So that's going to give us a better core connection. It's going to help support our pelvic floor more. A lot of times when I see people move, their ribs splay even more with motion. So we're going to just practice trying to find some control here while we move our arms. It's all in preparation to trying to get a better connection there. Okay. So I'm going to have you bring your arms up to chest height. Hold them up for me. And I'm going to have you take an inhale. Again, feel everything expand. Now exhale. And I want you to think about connecting those ribs down towards the opposite hips. So we're adding an element to that breath. Inhale again with your arms up. Exhale. Think about ribs going towards opposite hips. So you're getting a little bit, I like to imagine it's like I'm pulling the strings of a corset. Okay, now can you keep that string connection? Can you maintain it? Take a deep breath and then take your arms straight up overhead. Now, the goal is that those arms go up and the ribs don't move with it. And then come back to chest height. Good. Do that again. And back. So again, your ribs go up, your arms go up, your ribs do not. Your ribs stay connected down. You're really focusing on that connection to the hips as you're moving those arms. 4. All right. Good. I want 3 more. Also, another thing you should be feeling is those shoulder blades moving. When you can find that rib connection, it's going to help open up your chest and encourage those shoulder blades to be sliding down your back with motion. That is really important and a very, very crucial element to strong, healthy shoulders. Stay back at center, keep that crisscross connection, and we're now going to take our arms out wide. Again, I want those shoulder blades to be gliding towards each other, kind of squeezing into the center to find the ability to do this motion. I don't want your ribs popping up to do it. So keep that rib connection while you're moving those arms. Good. We're going to do 3 more. In the beginning, I encourage everybody to just start getting aware of what's happening. So if you can't control it, it's okay, but you're aware. So it's a step in the right direction. Okay. We got to, that your body is used to having a baby in there. It's kind of reteaching that whole process. All right. Now I'm going to have you turn your hands diagonal and one's going to go up and one's going to go down. Come back up Turn the hands the other way and go in the opposite. Again, check into those ribs. Also check into your pelvis. Are you able to keep it in neutral? Or are you curling and flattening your back? It's crazy what our bodies will do to get things to work, especially postpartum. You are getting up, you're hitting the ground running, you're not getting that rehab time you need. So your body is going to just kick into other patterns. It's really important for us to take the time to go low and slow and rebalance it. Good. One more on each side. Awesome. Center. Give me some circles. Nice, big, open circles. Just open those shoulders up. Probably feels good, especially considering you're hunching over small bodies. Good. Go the other direction. Last one. Good. All right. I'm going to have you all roll up and you're going to go onto your hands and knees. All right. I'm actually going to take off my shirt for you guys to see this one because I have too many baggy things. You will not be able to see it. Earbuds. Hold that thought. Oop. Okay. So what you're going to do, we're going to go down to hands and knees. I want arms directly under shoulders, knees directly under hips. Okay. We're going to start with a couple of cat and cow. So you're going to curl up and then you're going to extend down. I want you to just open all that up for a minute. Good. One more. Good. Okay. Find a flat back for me. This is the one that I wanted you guys to be able to see. I want your back to stay nice and flat. So I don't want you to pop up and down. I want it nice and strong. You guys might have done this as a prenatal workout called Hug the Baby. Here, I call it Hug the Belly because it still gets things activated. I want a flat back. You're going to let your belly go and you're going to pull your belly back up and in. So release that stomach without your back moving and then pull it up and in without your back moving. Do that again and pull back up. Good. Give me three more. This is an amazing way to start firing into that deep core, into that transverse. And it helps you be aware of what's happening. Because like I said, I don't want you to release and arc down and then pull up and in here, like and round into your back as you pull back up and in. That makes you feel like you're doing it, but you're really doing it from your back. I want you to focus on that back not moving. Good. All right. Now keep the core engaged. We're going to challenge us a little bit more. Core is nice and strong. We're going to work on not letting our body move. We're going to do a bird dog broken down. So you're just going to take your arm and you're going to raise it overhead. Then you're going to switch to the other side. We're just going to switch back and forth. Good. Awesome. Now keep your hands still. Try not to shift your weight and take your leg back and switch to the other side. So the goal is that that back stays straight still. I'm not bowing to make that happen. I am raising my leg out and keeping a nice strong flat back. Good. Last one. Awesome. All right, now we're gonna do the full bird dog. So you're gonna extend an arm and a leg without your back moving. Good. Keep a nice, strong back. Nice. One more. Nice. All right, let's go into a child's pose. So put your knees wide, feet together, and bring your butt down towards your feet, and bring your arms up and reach overhead. It's really important and it's really, really good for your pelvic floor to have these knees wider. When they're more narrow, you're not going to get as much opening into that pelvic floor and into those hips. So it's really, really important for them to be really wide. Kind of sit into that for a second and let everything stretch. Nice. All right. I'm going to have you all come up. Let's go back to sitting cross-legged. I'm going to put my sweatshirt back on because it is chilly. Okay. So I'm going to have you sit cross-legged again for me. Knees are wide. And we're going to take some of these motions and we're going to turn them into sitting upright. Okay. So hands are going to go onto your knees. I want you to give a little tug and I want you to sit up nice and tall. Maintaining that tug on your knees, I'm going to have you tilt your pelvis back and forth. We did this in the beginning to loosen up. Now, I really want you to focus on it coming from that core. Can you find a little bit of that core connection to find the tilt? And then the uprightness. Good. Do that again. And come back up. Two more. And one more. Beautiful. Keep that connection on your knees. So you're pulling, you're sitting up a little taller, and you're going to turn your head side to side. Trying to wake up that upper back as well. It's all connected. I see lots of women that have a lot of mid and upper back issues and neck with the hunching over and not having core connection. It's not a separate issue. It is all together. Your foundation has been impacted. Good. Center, up and down. Pelvic floor issues or just deep core pelvic floor imbalance can show up in so many ways. And it's not always centered in that pelvis. So it's important to be moving everything, really working on connecting from the base of that pelvis all the way up to the top of your head. Good. Come to center. Take a couple more deep breaths from me. Inhale. Feel everything expand and exhale. One more. And exhale. I'm curious if that seated breath feels a little different. If you're unsure and you want to kind of see where things are at, lay back down. Laying down and finding that breath is going to be the easiest place because gravity isn't affecting things. So I always tell everybody, I'd love for you to master things lying down where gravity is kind of helping you. So let's all take a second and go back there. So lay on down. I want you to find that neutral pelvis again. So go ahead. This time, take a moment, get yourself positioned, make the tailbone heavy, put your hands there, focus on those fingers. Can you inhale all the way down to those fingers at your pubic bones? And then exhale and feel it naturally pull up and in. This breath, can you take it beyond those fingers? And exhale. Common question I get, I want you to take a couple more deep breaths as I talk about this, is should I do a Kegel on that exhale to feel that connection? The answer is no. I want that to be a natural connection. I don't want you gripping. So I want you to feel a natural expansion. Can you get it lower each time? That's waking up all those muscles and getting them coordinating together. As you exhale, I want it to be a natural knitting in and pull up, not forced. The force can get you in trouble later on down the road. Okay. It is really, really, really important for you to just try to get those things to start coordinating together and refinding that flow of all the muscles. Take a couple more deep breaths. Here, I'm going to touch on Kegels because this is a very common question I get. Everyone's like, when should I Kegel? What should I not Kegel? How should I do Kegels? I personally think that Kegels are really important in you starting to build awareness of that pelvic floor. So I don't know about you, but when I was postpartum brand new. I came home and I looked down and said, "Is it there?" I have no idea. Well, that's when you want to do Kegels. Can you find it? Can you feel a connection? Can you feel it pull up? Once you can feel that pull up, then it means it's time to move on. Doing too many Kegels can actually cause a tight pelvic floor. They're really important in finding the connection there, and then we want to deepen it. And that's where doing some of this bigger work, where we're working on stabilizing that pelvis, breathing into things, we're starting to work on the coordination of it. Your pelvic floor does so many things. It does it helps with your breath. It holds everything in there. It helps you give birth. It it prevents you from, peeing and pooping. It helps hold that. It also has a huge role in sex. So maintaining all of those connections and getting all those muscles working is really important. A Kegel only pulls up. So we want to make sure we're coordinating everything and getting it all working correct. Okay. All right. Everybody sit up with me. I hope you're feeling good and connected. And we are going to go into some question and answers now. So where are we at? Savannah, what do we have for questions? I'm going to share my page, so I'm really not going to see the chat. So you're going to have to tell me, or if somebody wants to unmute themselves and ask a question, I am game that way as well. But I have some thoughts for you I'd like to share. Uh-oh, where did it go? I was so sad. Hold on. Sorry, ladies. I am very tech unsavvy and I need my glasses. I'm trying to read and I can't. So sorry. I had it all prepped. I'm very sad. Okay, we're gonna just bear with me. I am going to get to it. Uh, nope. Here it is. All right. I had it ready, but it wasn't going. Okay. So here's my full screen for you. I love this statement and I really want you to think about it because as we were doing these exercises, I don't know where you were at. I don't know what you were feeling and not feeling. I know there's a lot of pressure to bounce back, especially with social media. And I think that that is a struggle because every woman's postpartum journey is different. I think it's really, really, really important for us to keep all that in consideration. Give yourself grace, give yourself time, and you to rehab. This 8 week checkup, there's this pressure that we're going to be back to normal. We're not. Research is showing that full recovery from having a baby is anywhere from 6 months to 12 months and sometimes beyond, depending on what you have going on. Do you have any pre existing things that were there? Do you have other children? Recovering from a second pregnancy is totally different than recovering from a first pregnancy. So I really want you to give your body grace and actually celebrate yourself for a second. Like, ladies, you just made a miracle. Like my OB once said this to me so nonchalantly, and I was like, whoa, it's so true. Having a baby is the everyday miracle, but they don't discuss what happens to our bodies. We made that miracle, and all that trauma happened to your body, and it needs to be rehabbed. Every woman's journey is going to be different. So please be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace. Celebrate what you have accomplished and realize how big that is. You know, our society likes to think it's no big deal. It's a huge deal. So please keep that in mind. All right, I am yours. I am yours to answer any and all questions. Questions in regards to what we just did. If you had a little struggle, or hey, anything personal, if you are kind of feeling some things and want to say, hey, what should I do? I can give some guidance as best as I can. So I am at your whim. Oh, Allie, I love it. Hands up. I don't know how you did that, but I'm wowed by it.
Thanks, Barta. Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Um, I have a question. So when you were laying on your back, knees bent, and had your hands on the pelvic area, and when you
Yes.
would inhale, you would expand that area. I tend to do the opposite. I tend to go in. So I was curious your assessment on that. So I basically do like an inhale, go in, exhale, push out.
So it's not uncommon. But you are basically, remember I told you it's all about finding that coordination. Your
Mhm.
coordination is doing the reverse.
Mhm.
Your body just kind of got a little out of sync, and we have got to flip that. So, Allie, I need you to really start kind of thinking about trying to find some of that expansion because your muscles are actually going in the reverse of what they could. And this can cause increased pressure onto that pelvic floor.
Okay.
And it's just all not working together. So I'm going to say you need to do some mind over matter and practice this. One of the things that can help that I have found is take a pillow or even a yoga block, whatever you've kind of got at your access. Like I love half inflated Pilates balls are like my favorite thing in the world. If you don't have one, don't run out and get one. Use a pillow, use a yoga block, use what you got. But put it between your knees. And what I want you to think about doing is when you inhale, relax on it. As you exhale, squeeze it. It
Okay.
might help you start to get that coordination happening. You're discoordinated. We just got to recoordinate the muscles and you will immediately start feeling better. You might feel better connected.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. This is
You're
so
so
great.
welcome. And I'm sorry, everybody. My name is Sherry. I told you I'm not tech savvy. I have it as my last name, and don't know how to fix it. So sorry. My husband was supposed to help me with that.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Lindsay. I put a question in the chat. I don't know. She just want me to read the question.
Yeah, go for it. Please do.
All right. All right. So, since I've given birth, it's about a year ago now, my low back has become extremely painful after doing things like deadlift, good mornings, RDLs, back extensions, motions like that. Even when going very light in weight and high in reps with a full warm up. I'm wondering if there's something that could have shifted with my pelvis to cause this. Something in particular I need to change with my form. I tried to be careful and build my core first, and still end up with the same result. Strength is not the problem, and it feels good when I'm doing it. But once it's over, when I'm done working out, it gets worse and worse until I can barely walk. So I'm just trying to figure out what could have changed. I lift a lot, and I'm an
Okay.
athlete. I played in college, so I mean, my form is good. It's not, I'm pretty aware of my body, and for whatever reason, I just can no longer do those movements.
Okay. I have a couple questions for you. It's going to help me kind of guide me on what I want to say to you. How did you feel with this workout? Like this was a lot smaller, lower. This is really more stabilizer muscles, not the big muscles that you use with lifting. Um,
Mhm.
how did you feel overall in the workout you just did?
I felt fine. I do a lot of physical therapy type exercises as well, and when I'm building my core, um, and I do a lot of
Okay.
stretching and breathing and things as well. So I don't want to say it was like far left out of my normal zone.
Absolutely. And that's not what I meant by that question. Sorry. Let me re-go with that. When I said find these expansions, when I said move your hip without like move your leg without moving your pelvis, like was this difficult at all, or did you feel like you can engage all that correctly? Like I know you sound very aware, but with athletes, there's some things I common see, and I'm trying to judge this as best as I can without seeing you. So like bear with my
Right.
questions.
I felt like I had pretty decent control over the tilt of the pelvis, as well. Um, yeah, I don't think that there was anything that I was disconnected with. The
Okay.
breathing, kind of getting the breathing lower, I found that was a little different. Kind
Okay.
of, but I was able to get the breathing that low. There was a new concept of bringing that into breathing,
Okay.
getting it
So
lower through your pelvis.
without seeing you, Lindsay, just a few thoughts, and this is something you could play with, is it what you're describing to me is still a muscular imbalance.
Okay.
Okay. This is not uncommon with athletes. Okay. Athletes are harder to rehab than a just Joe Schmo. Okay. Because you're so strong and you have those bigger, fleshier muscles. Those are the muscles athletes love to use, especially weightlifters. These smaller stabilizer muscles, especially when I talk deep core. When I'm talking deep core, I'm talking transverse abdominis. It is this paper thin abdominal muscle. It is the one that goes lateral and it stretches when you're pregnant and then it comes back. It never separates. A lot
Hmm.
of times postpartum, you get up and that is just really weak. And your abdominis rectus and some of your obliques can start taking over and doing the job that the transverse should do. When this happens, we have a tendency to start kicking into our back more. And we start relying on our back muscles more than we should.
Okay.
And where you're saying it's hurting and going, those are some telltale signs that you're overusing your back muscles, which means that that front side is not doing what it's supposed to do. It's a compensatory pattern. They're automatic. This is the big thing. Everyone, compensatory patterns are unconscious. They're subconscious. You like they will just kick in and they will just start. And we have to try to like bring it down to override it. Um, and so, Lindsay, I don't know if you have recently seen a therapist, but it would be good to look at that and see if there is a clear imbalance that's happening. And sometimes those itty bitty small stabilizer muscles, they the bigger, fleshier muscles that, we use in large motions will take over for them and it will serve you till it doesn't. So I'm curious if that's a place where this is going, especially where it's kind of consistent with what you're doing. And that is what I have found with athletes is the bigger muscles just try to take over and we've got it because the little ones got stretched. And so we got to tip the scales. I hope that helped. Without seeing you, I'm kind of guessing that's a place where it's going.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Mike, let me see if I can access this chat here and see if there's any others.
I
All
don't,
right.
sorry, I had missed that one. I think the other question we were looking at, so when we're doing these exercises with the low back,
I
is
just saw that.
okay, perfect. Yeah, arched or flat.
Arched or flat. Okay, so this goes with what we were kind of just talking about. Lindsay, I noticed you are the one that asked this one. It is neutral pelvis. So just everybody like stand up or kneel for a second. And think about where your positioning is. So when we stand up, I'm gonna pull tight here. I have a natural curve. We all have this natural curve. What's happened is a lot of times in the world of fitness, we have been told to flatten our backs down on the mat to exercise. We're told it protects your back. Actually, it doesn't. And it actually is very detrimental to these deep core muscles. And this could be what causes people to go into their backs, into their hips. So what I want you to do is I don't want you to arch your back and I don't want you to flatten it. I just want you to make your tailbone heavy so that you have a very small lumbar curve. I'm going to bring you down. I'm going to show you this. I'm getting you like really like at that level. Okay. Again, I'm going to take this off so there's no baggy material for you to see this. Okay. So you're here. Oh, that mat's cold. Okay. I ideally can slide my fingers underneath my back, okay? And if I put my hands here, my thumbs and fingers are on the same plane. This is neutral. I don't want you here. I don't want you arching. I also don't want you flattening down because if I flatten, if you notice, I'm now engaging like this gets shut off. And these are the muscles we want to work. So you want to just find some length. What I like to imagine is if I had a tail, it would come out right at the top of my butt crack. That's right where your tailbone is. Make it heavy. Just get that connected to the mat, and then you will have a very natural lumbar curve. Like you notice, I'm not off the mat, but I'm not pushing into the mat. I am just trying to get that nice connection here. What we don't realize a lot of time is when we go to lift our legs, we have a tendency to tilt and do. This is coming from my back. It's not coming from my hip. If I can keep this nice and stable and float up and down, I'm actually working my core. It's a subtle, subtle nuance that I want you to focus on. And it is the difference of you getting into your core or not. It's huge. It you tilt, it shuts it off. Those muscles start to grip. So, like I said, your lower transverse, your deep, deep core will go lax. Your hip flexors go lax. Your pelvic floor will tighten to try to give some stabilization. Then your glutes are going to tighten. If your glutes tighten, they can't lengthen, which is really important. We want the length. And then you're tilting. So you're loading your lumbar spine, and all those itty bitty muscles around your lumbar spine have to grip to compensate. And then you're loading it with abdominal exercises. Can you see how that is not ideal? It is not going to help you facilitate that. Those muscles are already so weak and disconnected and imbalanced from having a baby. What we got to do is get them in this sweet, perfect spot and start getting them working so that they have a chance to catch up. So it's not a flat and it's not an arch. It's in the middle. It's more of a natural position. So where you would be positioned standing is kind of where I want you lying down. Okay. So that it's a very subtle, subtle nuance. And I spend lots of time teaching people how to find this. We call it finding neutral. And it's really, really important in that positioning. Anyone else have any questions? Anything at all?
Shari, I'll jump in here again, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
What's the frequency that you suggest on doing these exercises that you did today?
I love these exercises. I'm going to switch my screen too, because Allie, this is going to answer some of this question as well. I like 3 to 5 times a week if you can. But in all honesty, you're a mom and you are embarking on a whole new adventure. You do you and what you feel like you can give. Even doing this once a week, you will make progress. The progress will be slower, but it will still be progress. Do not beat yourselves up and be like, oh, another thing I have to add to the list. Please don't. Do what is realistically successful for you. Is going to be the best way to do it. Okay. On that,
thank you.
Like I said, I made CoreRehab to so I have a brick and mortar. I have 2 studios in Denver for so that people can come and take classes. And so you can come. It's an hour-long class. And for some moms, an hour-long class is just way too much. They're like, the drive, they're there. It's too much of an impact. So I wanted to make this more accessible for women everywhere, including time accessibility. I made CoreRehab online for my Yana moms, which is all of you. I am giving it to you for $10 a month, which is half the price for the rest of the world. And basically, I've taken what we just did, and I have multiple videos of just how to ramp it up, slightly change it, give you different workouts. The workouts go anywhere from 18 to 25 minutes. They're designed for your busy schedule. There's also some curated collections in there of guidance. So there's a prenatal collection, a postpartum connection, a diastasis. So if you have a diastasis, this will be a safe way for you to rehab that. There's incontinence. There is tight pelvic floor issues. So I have everything kind of curated to help support you with extra pelvic floor knowledge in there as well. So this is at your fingertips, if this is something you would want. So like Allie, doing the same exercises over and over gets old. So this would be a way for you to be able to kind of change it up, kind of build into it, build on it. There's 3 levels. I have a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced. And the whole idea is just to help you ladies get stronger. I'm deeply, deeply passionate about helping postpartum moms. When I was a postpartum mom, I had a diastasis and I had pelvic floor issues, and no doctor ever would give me help. Pelvic floor therapy wasn't even offered to me. So I, by default, started learning everything I could, and here I am. You know, my running joke is there's nothing like a scorned woman to make a life passion. So my goal is that no woman experiences what I did. So this is here, and I am here. I will. Savannah's really great about sending out my contact info to all of you. I am here to answer questions. I'd love to be a go-to place for you to ask questions and feel safe to do that. I just want to be a contact to help you feel successful, seen, heard, well directed.